Every so often, you'll go through a period in your life that seems like all of your real skills are being wasted. It will feel like you're not being used to your highest potential. It will feel like you're living beneath your privilege. And if you're not careful, you will secretly see yourself as a failure because you don't see yourself operating in the way that you dreamed that you would. If you saw yourself as a sedentary eaglet sitting in a nest, enjoying the comfort of your nest, it's hard to see yourself soaring. After all, soaring is more work, requires more muscles, requires more effort. You expend more energy. It's easier to lay back in your nest and say, feed me, love me, acknowledge me, open doors for me, make a way for me. Me. All of a sudden, the food stops. When the food stops, it's a sign for you to move on. You'll have to live with what you did all your life. That's why you ought to be careful what you do.
You don't have to wait till the 50th year. You don't have to wait till 2021. You don't have to wait till you get married. You don't have to wait till you get divorced. I mean, everybody's trying to go somewhere else. He said, today, this is the, everybody say, this is the year. This is the year. This is the year. But if frustration is a more familiar state for you, you will create frustration. You do this. I know this is hard to hear, but please hear me with spiritual ears. Some of the frustration, you just got to get through because it's not your fault. Some of it you're creating. You're creating it when you compare yourself to other people. You're creating it when you overload yourself with all this stuff you're looking at. You are making yourself frustrated. And the reason you're doing it, I'm gonna tell you why you're doing it, because it feels familiar.
Here's something I want you to keep in mind. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Most people don't have goals. Most people have not dedicated themselves to mastering something that they love that can be of service to others. And most people are not trying to create a life of meaning. I believe that you're with me because you feel that the best years of your life are ahead of you and the best is yet to come.
The one thing about me, man, I've always been resilient. I've never been afraid to reinvent myself. And here's the key for everybody. When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors, because I can promise you, He got a better door that He wants you to go through than the one that got shut in your face. That's a fact. That's a fact. But what happened to people is they stand there beating on the door. Open it back up. We're gonna do a write-in campaign. Where are you leaving? I gotta have my job. What about my benefits? Hey, stop. The door is closed for a reason. Because God just wants you to walk up the hall because He got another door. It's bigger, and when you open it and get behind it, you ain't gonna believe what's back there. But you will never get to it if you stand in front of that door crying. Help me, my family, stop. Go up the hall, man. These people that close doors in your face, they ain't the only door. They ain't the only door.
You can either live a life of scarcity and believe that you're going to lose what you have, and then you begin to hoard and fence in and protect and lock. Or you can just believe that there's more out there to experience than you've ever experienced. There's more to see than you've ever seen. There's more to do than you've ever done, and there's more to discover than you've ever discovered. Here's what I know. If you have a scarcity mindset, you'll find very, very little good stuff that happens to you. And if you have an abundance mindset, you'll find a whole bunch of good things that are going to happen to you. And what's interesting is the two of you can be side by side, and one is barely making it, and the other is just getting blessed beyond measure. You see, the abundance is out there, but you have to have an abundance mindset to receive it and to achieve it. Have hope. Look at your future. There's more in front of you than you could ever imagine. But it only comes to you if you have an abundance mindset.
Don't give up until you get where you want to be, however long that is. Step by step, piece by piece, book by book. Do it until. Go for it. Until is a very important word. It's magic. It means that you'll never give up. Don't miss the chance to grow, to pay the price. Until you learn, change, grow. You'll discover some of life's great treasures when you pay that price. As long as you're working toward your inner goal, your dream, then success is possible. But once you give up your inner vision, then you can never become successful. You never will become successful. Until doesn't even matter. Now, maybe the person who's been working on a project for 10 years can be successful in his own right, if he's honestly working toward it, doing everything to make himself worthy of reaching the dream. Really happy with where he is, doing it until, then maybe he is a success. It's a personal thing, going for it one step at a time, going for small accomplishments along the way for however long it takes. You'll start to see things change around you, little things, not major things, but little everyday things. Things you may not even notice unless you are paying attention. If you're one of those who'd rather stay up late and get up late, only to discover that your workplace doesn't fit your schedule, and you roll out of bed cursing the alarm clock every morning, maybe you could start with the little change of going to bed half an hour earlier than normal. And maybe you'll see, in time of course, you can't train your body overnight, maybe you'll find out that you jump out of bed in a better mood, and that your day will start better, and that you'll get more done. It all starts by making one little change and adding to it every day.
There most certainly are times when we feel like that, when you say, I don't have any idea whatsoever of what I'm going to do to pull this out. Been in situations like that, where I had deadlines I had to meet. I didn't meet those deadlines, and I lost a car, lost a home, lights were cut off, telephone was cut off. All of those things are going to happen to you at different points in life. Now, the question is, what does it really mean? It really doesn't mean anything. It's not important at all. It's just a temporary inconvenience, because all of those things can be corrected. And it's a part of the process that we all go through. Now, the challenge is, in the midst of all of these things, is one, to stay focused on your goal, and two, to keep your expectations of making it happen, and relentlessly looking for ways in order to pull it out.
You see, you can't change what's going on around you without first changing what's going on within you. Start changing how you look at mornings, and sure enough, people will start changing how they look at you. When you start changing how you think, how you act, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, when you start responding instead of reacting to life, life will start responding to you. I'm telling you that you can do it with your lifestyle. You can do it with your sales career. You can do it with any part of your life. If you are looking for equities unmatched, don't curse the only thing you have: seed and soil, sunshine and rain, miracle and seasons. But start processing things like we're covering in this program, and change will take off for you. You cannot believe what can happen in such a short period of time. So what happens when you start taking charge of your own personal happiness, your own life? Do you think that these little things will somehow make a difference in meeting your goals? You bet they will.
I once heard somebody say that hope doesn't matter. I still remember that because at the time I was going through a difficult period in my life. I had lost a lot, and being honest, I was starting to question if I had enough to get back to zero. Not to impress anyone, not even to win, but just to get back to zero. And somewhere in me, I was starting to feel like a loser, a joke. and I had to deal with that. But the one thing I had going for me, the one thing I had left that would get me unstuck and back in the game again, was a real Hail Mary. The success rate was 1% worse than chance. But that's all I had. So you better believe I was holding on to hope. That's what kept me going and believing that I could start again, that I could come back. So the person was wrong. Hope does matter. But it only matters when you understand that hope is just one part of the equation. Hope alone cannot survive. The world you build around hope will disappear into thin air if hope is all there is. The real story is this. Hope is always looking for a partner. It's always searching for something else to give it meaning. Hope goes looking for courage. It seeks out faith. It invites work, action, doing. Getting up at 4:30 in the morning to work out because you've got to lose that weight. You want your life back. Hope is looking for courage because by itself, hope might get you to the game. But after that first hit, the one that knocks you to the floor, hope needs courage to get back up, to take more, to readjust and to keep on moving. Hope seeks out faith because there are days when hope needs a break, when it's been stretched to its limits and about to crack. That's where faith steps in. You don't know how, but you just keep saying to yourself and believing that something's going to open up for me. I just have to keep going.
We all have things that come against us in life. People that aren't fair, a sickness that won't seem to go away, or a setback in our finances. Sometimes it was no fault of our own. We were born into difficulties, parents that weren't around, depression and addictions that keep getting passed down. We wonder, why am I having this opposition? Why was I raised in an unhealthy childhood? Why did this company let me go after all these years? It's because there's something in you that the enemy's trying to stop.
There's another person on the inside of you that you have to tap into in order to get through one of the darkest, toughest, roughest moments of your life. But ultimately, everything happens for a reason, and you have to understand you've been dealt this. You've been dealt this adversity, this opposition, and this challenge because somebody in the world needs to see you get through it so it can serve as a blessing to someone else. And so as I stand right here before you and I tell you I'm grateful and I'm thankful, I'm grateful and I'm thankful. I have friends out there that poured into me. And so every day of my life, the way that I live my life is to give the people that invested in me and saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself, a return on their investment. I feel it's my responsibility to add value to every person's life that come in contact with me in every environment that I go into.